Greetings everyone and welcome back to another video. We have some news here for you today, which was anticipated by the 10 Forward weekly stream that happened the other day. The Tier 6 Steamrunner is finally coming to the game, and it's going to be part of a Ships of the Line bundle, which means that it will be packaged with the other lower tier versions of the same ship. It has a new model, of course, for a new version of the ship, and we're going to go over the stats which are in here as well. And there's a video here. I'm not going to play it for you, but as always, this blog will be linked in the description, so you can go to the blog or go to the Star Trek Online YouTube page and watch these videos if you want to. And let's go ahead and talk about the bundle first and what it comes with. You get a single Tier 5 U token, which is presumably to use on the Tier 5 Steamrunner, although you could use it on any Tier 5 ship if you want. 2 experimental ship upgrade tokens, the Tier 1 version of the ship, the Tier 5 version of the ship, and then of course the new Tier 6 version of the ship. The bundle will be available on October 1st, 2021 on PC at a price of 5,000 Zen. The introductory sales price will be all the way through October 8th, and it will reduce the price by 35%, which I believe should bring it down to 3,250 Zen, and that's a pretty good deal. I wasn't initially planning on buying the whole bundle because, frankly, I don't care that much about the Tier 1 and Tier 5 versions of the ship. However, that price is just so good. You know, if you were to get the Tier 6 version on its own, it's going to set you back 3,000. Maybe you can get it on sale. But yeah, for just a tiny bit more, you do get that Tier 5 U token, and you do get 2 experimental ship upgrade tokens, and I think that's worth 250 Zen for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and actually get the full bundle because I think it's just a good deal if you get it when you're on sale. Let's go ahead and talk about the new Tier 6 Appalachia class will also be available as a separate purchase. As I mentioned, here's some images, some promo images, so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. I think I kind of like the boxier design of the Tier 5, but you know, when it comes to appearances, a lot of times you just kind of have to get it on your hands and fly it around a little bit. I've had ships I didn't think I was going to like, but then when I actually flew it, I liked it a lot, and vice versa. So you're normally not looking at your ship from these angles. You're looking at it from different angles, from the back sides or whatever. So, you know, it's hard to judge how you're actually going to like it until you're really flying it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the stats here. It is a Tier 6 ship, of course. It is an escort, and they made a pretty big deal about the fact that they put a lot. I don't know if it's back up here again, if you can't really see it from here, but they made a big deal about how they spruced up the hangar bay part, and they put the lights that they put on there, you know, correspond to sort of real life carriers and what the lights would be for ships coming in and stuff. And so I was thinking, oh, they're talking about how they redid the hangar bay, and they put a lot of special effort into that. It must have a hangar bay, you know, as a ship mechanic. So we're going to get some hangar pets. Nope, it's just a regular escort. It doesn't have a hangar bay at all. So I think that's pretty funny, but it just kind of goes to show what a disconnect there is between the art people and like the game mechanic people. That just doesn't seem to be, you know, a whole lot of communication going on there. But anyway. All right, Tier 6 ship, shield modifier 1, hull modifier 1.15. Those are low, but of course, it's an escort, so that's to be expected. A 4-3-1 weapon layout, 4 in the front, 3 in the back, 1 experimental weapon slot. It has a commander tactical, a lieutenant commander tactical command, a lieutenant commander engineering, an ensign science, and a lieutenant universal intel. So that's pretty good. It has command and intel, which is pretty strong right now. Lieutenant commander tactical command means you can use concentrate firepower rank 3. The lieutenant universal means that you can use intel team. If you wanted to use this for solo play, you could do that. Also, there are a couple of decent intel abilities that have, you know, kinetic damage debuffs and stuff on it that you could fit in the lieutenant slot. So those could be useful just in general for some kind of a torp build. The ensign science seems like it's perfectly carved out for tractor beam. That's a big deal right now for torp builds. the commander tacticals, or yeah, the commander tactical seat doesn't have a specialization on it, but there are lots of ways to use up that seating. You could have mine pattern beta 3 on there, and there's might be another reason for it coming up here. So let's go ahead and take a further look here. Console mods: 5 tactical, 4 engineering, 2 for science. That seems fitting. It does have a fixed lieutenant commander engineering seat, and you would expect it to have 5 as an escort. It has a turn rate of 16, impulse modifier of 0.21, inertia of 60. Those are all pretty good, as you would expect from an escort. 15 to power, 5 to engines. It can use dual cannons, of course. It has a new console and a new trait. We'll talk about those in a second, and a new experimental weapon, so you get that as well. And we'll talk about that too. But the mastery package, standard escort 1, you get accuracy, defense, all damage, crit chance. That's not bad. It's not quite as good as the warship one, but it's pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the, well, let's see this here. All right, you can kind of see they have a little GIF here of it going off. Looks pretty good. Console Universal Tri-Cobalt Tear Generator, or Launcher, excuse me. A starship equipped with this console is capable of firing a barrage of high-yield tri-cobalt warheads at a distant target. Upon reaching their target destination, these warheads will detonate, causing massive damage to any ships unfortunate to be caught in the blasts. These detonations cause a large subspace tear to appear and damage and disable nearby enemy starships. Let's take another look at this here. Because it says subspace, thing. Is it the same as subspatial warheads? Doesn't look like it, at least from what I can tell in that little GIF there. It doesn't have quite the same shape and all of that. But because these are high-yield torpedoes, they should also trigger subspatial warheads, as far as I know. That's my assumption going into it, which means you'll be getting 5 activations of subspatial warheads, presumably. That's pretty darn good. And it also has passives to shield pen and projectile weapon damage. Projectile would include mines as well as torpedoes, so this is going to be a very popular console. Competition is pretty stiff for consoles, but I think this one is definitely powerful enough to make the cut. It's going to be probably a staple going forward. We have the new experimental weapon hull spike battery, and it kind of looks like you're, it's injecting itself into the hull, and then it looks like a sparkler actually. This experimental piece of weaponry was designed to deal catastrophic damage to a target starship hull by bypassing its shields entirely and drilling through the starship's armoring directly into the vulnerable starship components. This translates into a large spike of immediate damage followed by an ongoing damage over time effect. That ongoing damage over time effect, I believe, will have the ability to trigger the Fek Erie console. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong about it. Using the Fek Erie console is not always the most optimal thing to do, but it is pretty cool. It's a fun console. It is free to get. So I always have my eye out for anything that might trigger that console. So this could be a fun one to use, even if it isn't like tippy-top best experimental weapon. It does look pretty nice though. Starship trait, piercing projectiles. Big questions about this one. While this trait is slotted, activating a torpedo or mine firing mode bridge officer ability will grant a large shield pen and hull pen bonus for a short time, and it gives you the skill from like the skill tree. So for 15 seconds when activating torpedo or mine firing modes, you get 200 hull pen skill and 200 shield pen skill, and that translates into about 10% shield pen and 20% hull pen as a percentage. And what I want to know is, does this stack? If it stacks, then you can definitely get 2 stacks, because if you do 1 mine mode and 1 torpedo mode, then you can get 2 stacks. Also, if it does stack, will it trigger off of entwined tactical matrices, because that gives you another couple of stacks when you use fire at will or cannon scatter volley. If you can get 2 or 4 stacks, that seems like it's going to be pretty good. If it doesn't stack though, it just refreshes and you're only ever able to get 1 stack, then I think this is going to kind of be on the weak side, unfortunately, and that means it probably won't be a top 6 trait. It still might be an okay budget trait, an okay trait just to get from the C-store, but it's really going to live or die based on whether it can stack or not. If it can stack, then I think it has a chance at being a top trait, or at least a top contender. If it doesn't stack, then I think it's going to be relegated to mediocre status. So anyway, that's my review of the blog. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to go finish up my fleet ship video. There's some sirens in the background. I'm not even outside. They're just really loud. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.